before we really get started.
Sounds good for me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the HW Hockey pre-show. We're going to wait for some of you guys to kind of come and hang out. We are live on YouTube, Twitch. If we have any Twitchers out there, and X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're watching on Twitter or Twitch, awesome. But if you could be so kind, head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you stick around and you enjoy the episode, feel free to hit that like button. Give us a like. The like goal for the episode is going to be 100 likes, Jack. I think we may have hit it on one of the last two episodes. But we're going to try to start a little like streak here if we can do that. All right, we got some people popping in. Once again, welcome to the HW pre-show. We're going to start in about T-minus 3 minutes here. We have a lot of good topics to get to tonight. I didn't make a topic graphic, but we'll run through it real quick. We're going to talk the Igor Zamula saga. Obviously, we're going to touch on, I almost called him Radek Dvorak, Jack.
Wow, there you go.
Christian Dvorak. Obviously, the results from last night, which can't wait to talk about that one, dear. For so many reasons. Denver Barkey and Rasmus Ristolainen. And what should the Flyers do with Risto? All right, so we got some people popping in. I was a little torn before the show if I should wear the U.S. soccer hat with the old school logo. I don't know if we got any soccer fans there. Oh yeah, you know what, Jack? Let's put that in the topics because
I thought you might like that.
I did want to spend a lot of time.
Not a lot of money,
Zegras, but I kind of just lumped that into the Anaheim game. Yeah, dude, I love this dude, man. Like everything about him, I love him.
I know. Chase Utley interview, it's beautiful. Such a beautiful game.
Yeah, he's just like a beauty of a player, man. And how old is he? 24.
He's young, man. Yeah, he's a 2019 draft, so he's whatever York is.
All right, so I'll save some of this for the actual show, but like he's that good at 24. Like, and this is his first year in a new system playing under Tocchet. The sky's the limit, man.
Yeah.
Like, so they're saying that they're not talking, but I felt like they let a few things. No, I don't want to say they let a few things slip, but something came out with. Zegras said something like he's had some experience when it came to like contract talk or something, and I don't know if he was referring to what happened in Anaheim. But they have to be talking. I want them to be talking. Like, I don't want it to get to the summer and Zegras not be signed. You know what I mean?
You're looking at big money there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Flyers waiting for. It's probably Zegras. I would imagine
it has to be, man.
Zegras' camp holding things up because he's on a tear. If you're the Flyers, what are you waiting for? An injury?
Yeah.
Like they'll tell you they're waiting to see that he can stay healthy. Which I get to an extent, but you're at a point now where it's like, I don't know what your other options are. Just sign him and get him before he kills you, which ultimately I don't think is going to happen. But
I would bet a lot of money that they locked up Dvorak as, I don't want to say a favor to Zegras, but like to show him like, hey, we're serious. We want you here. We know you guys, like you see them like hanging out and talking to each other like they're buddies. Get along on the ice, they get along in the locker room. I think they said they live near each other. Like they just signed his boy long term. Like that has to mean a lot. You know what I mean?
It certainly doesn't help. He was I'm sorry. It certainly doesn't hurt. I'm sure he's all about him, all for it. I mean, look at him. He's already said this is like his home. He said that last night in the interview. Like he wants it. It's just about finding the number. So I like when he talks like that because it gives up a little bit of leverage at least. It's like you clearly want to be here. Your buddy, not just Dvorak. You got Drysdale and York as well. Like everything he wants is here. I heard he's an East Coast guy to begin with. Like we have a lot. His whole career is, I don't want to say turned around. He had two really good years in Anaheim, but he clearly wanted out of there. I mean, look at the you saw the celebration, right? The hanging up the phone, that whole thing.
I love that shit, man. I love all that.
He might as well just went like this to Anaheim. I love it. Good. The way things went down were strange. I understood the contract negotiations with Drysdale being a little weird because he had that really good first rookie year, although his defensive metrics were pretty bad. But then he was just injured the rest of the time. So how do you pay that guy? I get that. Zegras is on the cover of NHL. He was at the All-Star game, even though he didn't technically make the game, but they brought him in for the skills competition. He's got 260-point seasons. And then they play real hardball with him, and that seems to be Verbeek's thing out there. He's not too keen on paying guys. They just signed their center. What's his name? In October or late September this year. Of course, his name slips my mind. The hell's MM? Isn't it M something M?
McTavish.
I see it. Marchment was stuck in my head, and I know that's not it. McTavish took forever to sign him. He's one of the last players. Whoa.
Sorry.
I do that all the time. So there was such bad blood there, and I don't understand why. Then he goes through injuries. Then he's reduced to this third line winger role with all this other talent out there he's not playing with, and seeing how good he is, it's why wouldn't you at least try him out with Cutter, with McTavish, with whoever, And he even took the role and was I'm going to try to be a better defensive player. And he made strides, and they still traded for a bucket of pucks, thankfully to us, So it was the whole thing's really strange. I'm just glad that we were the recipient of it, because a lot of people like to say, well, they got Cutter, we got Zegras, it's fair. I'm we didn't have a choice with Cutter. You had a choice with Zegras. You could have played things differently for sure. So thank God for us.
Yeah. All right. Let's get going here. We're going to do the quick intro, and then we'll really get cooking. Hang on a sec, guys. Thanks for everyone hanging out for the HW Hockey pre-show. Here we go. All right, what's up, you beauties? Welcome to the HW Hockey YouTube channel, episode 26 of season 8, our first episode of 2026. I'm your host, Jim Ichabone, joined as always by Jack Smith. And if you're catching us live on YouTube, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. Help us on our quest to 3,000 subscribers, and hit that like button. Our like goal for the episode is 100. If you like what you're seeing tonight, and or like what you're hearing, of course you like what you're seeing. And for all the podcast listeners out there, don't forget to subscribe on Apple Podcast or Spotify so you're first in line when our newest episodes drop. All right, so if you were hanging around in the pre-show, we were kind of already talking about Trevor Zegras. We're going to get into the game from last night. Actually, you know what? Let's open up with the game, Jack. Because I kind of can't wait to talk about this. Excited. Let's get this party jumping in here. I think Charlie's Hamburg, he's asked if this was some kind of a party. Let's get the party atmosphere going, right? A beatdown again of Cutter Gauthier and the horny hats on.
Oh.
Of Cutter Gauthier and the Anaheim Ducks. And I wasn't there last night, unfortunately. And I was last year, but this year I watched it on TV. And I got to tell you, Jack, it brought back feels for me. And I'm sure you too. It felt like growing up, hockey was like that every other night, was it not? And it was just this is how it's supposed to be.
That's hockey, baby.
You were dying to feel this. And I'm sure the players are too. And I just hope games like that, it registers this can be, if we make the playoffs, this can be a thing here. And it sure looked like it struck Trevor Zegras like that.
Yeah, that game was phenomenal. I mean, don't get me wrong. Right away, when Cutter scores, I almost was no, stop. Why?
Dude, you knew that was going to happen, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. I knew it was going to happen at some point because until last night, he was 0-2 against Philly. And what did we beat him last year? 6-0 or something in Philly?
Down,
yeah. So, but Zegras comes right back and scores a beauty of a goal. And I'm it was a double whammy. It's always the game tied. It's Zegras. Yeah, and then he does it again. I'm oh God, Zegras hat. He's coming up, baby. Please. It's okay. We didn't get it. We got the win. That's what's important. But
it kind of reminded me of Claude Giroux on those two goals. He used to score goals from that point.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, just ripping it.
Down in the corner there. He's picking his spot.
Hey, most talented players know what they're doing, man. And it was a beaut to watch because I felt like a playoff game. I was so invested in that game. I was nervous like a playoff game because I know I can't handle losing to them. especially if Cutter has a really good game and starts off with a goal. Like, I will not handle that properly. This podcast would have been totally different. Like, I probably already would have been plastered. Like, I would have been very angry. Instead, and they were doing it all night, and credit to the fans, and I would have been doing it myself if I was there. And those things are getting tough to get, which is like great for hockey. You have a rivalry with a Pacific Division team, for Christ's sake. Like, you know, that I love that. I remember the rivals we had. We obviously hated our division, but we hated teams outside of our division too. Like, after we lost in the cup, we hated Detroit. We hated Buffalo because we were always playing them in the playoffs in the first round. Like, the list goes on and on. I love those other rivalries that no longer really exist because our playoff structure now sucks. Well, this is fan manufactured, and I love it. Well, I should say it's Cutter manufactured, but you get my point. And when they were booing, anytime, I thought it was when he stepped on the ice, they're raining down the boos. And somehow when he touched the puck, it would get louder. Obviously, the FU, Cutter chants were rampant. But, like, I felt like that meme of John Hamm where he's, like, in the club and he's just, like, rocking out, eyes closed, blue lights. I'm like, every time they were just destroying that little brick. And it felt so good to dismantle them. And the game was a little bit closer, but I feel – didn't Anaheim only had, like, 13 shots or something, like, in the whole game? Like, the Flyers really dominated outside of just a flat-out score. And if their power play was anything worth a damn, that game could have been 7-1 itself. So it was an incredible game, and I am on such a high because of it. Thank God.
Yeah, I mean, it just brought back all the old feelings. I had the bad blood. Anaheim is the team with the goons instead of the Flyers. Friggin' Trouba, Gudis, and the one guy had I don't recall the guy's last name with the hit on Brink. And then how about Noah Cates stepping up there? Like, we don't spend a lot of time talking about Noah Cates, but he quietly does everything right, and even sticking up for Brink in that example. But I think just a really solid hockey player, man. And it was nice to see a guy jump in right away. Even if the hit was questionable, clean or not, you see one of your guys down on the ice like that, you step in. Fine. Instigator's worth it, even if they give up the goal to go to you, you answer back and pick up Cates and Brink there. So I love to see that.
Yeah, no, and the hits in that game are wild. How about, was it Gudis with the Randy Savage elbow dropped? I forgot who was against.
There's some crazy shit going on.
Trouba with the flying forearm to Barkey, like, and he was bleeding. Like, and then Hathaway had easily his best game of the season. I was ashamed he didn't score. He was laying some hits. Yeah. Getting some were instigator penalties, some were not. Very head scratching. But whatever, man. The Flyers came out on top. That was an old school, almost playoff game. Yeah. And I missed it, and I loved it. And it was, to do it against them was at home was even better.
There were a lot of players that stuck out in that game, and it seemed like Owen Tippett was fired up. And look, he's going to do his little things that will kind of tick you off throughout a shift. But every time he did something that was like a little questionable, or like, come on, man, well, you could have done this. He made up for it like right away, which to me is that's something you want to see in a player. You want to see them fight back for the puck. Like when you see a guy turn the puck over and not really fight to get it back, it's kind of like, oh, this guy
makes you angrier. Yeah.
But I liked what I saw from Tippett. I don't think he scored a goal last night, but he could have. Grebenkin last night I would love to see more of that from Grebenkin. And I know, Brink had to go down for him to get more ice time, and Michkov was out of the lineup for maybe Grebenkin to even be in. I'm not sure what the lineup was going on there, but he looked really good. And he looked like he was maybe built for a game like that, Nikita Grebenkin. And I would like to see more of him going forward. I wonder if that's a game where Tocchet's like, all right, I'll give you another minute or two out there, and let's see how you handle it kind of thing. Do you like what you saw out of Grebenkin, Jack?
Especially at the end. Like at the end where he beats Gudis out to wave off that icing and just starts a fiasco. Like, yes. I know that was – he got better as the game went on, but like that was incredible. You're going to get the ice time. I'm glad to see you do something with it. And a game like that, he played the game that was being played. Like he didn't try to do something different. So you want to get nuts? You want to get gritty? Let's do it. And he made a great play, and he didn't like overreact and draw a penalty either. You know, like he didn't take a penalty when he got assaulted. You know, he played it smart. And I mean, that's what you want to see in a young player for sure.
Yeah, I want to see more because I tweeted out last night I've been on the fence, and that doesn't mean that I don't like Rebankin, but I just haven't seen enough to be like, yeah, like this guy needs to be in the lineup. Like a lot of people are like, oh, he needs to be in there. And the whole time I'm like, well, what have you seen that he deserves more ice time? And after a game like last night, I would agree. He needs, like, give him more until you need to take a little bit away. Like he deserves more after last night, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to get. Yeah, I would assume he's going to get. I haven't really seen too much of an update on Brink and Drysdale. I don't think that there is a confirmed concussion on Brink yet, but they're also not the easiest to determine. So I would assume if Brink's out, you know, it's a shame because the first he's going to get more ice time, obviously. But the first player that came to mind for me was Bump. Actually, I was like, of course, Bump's hurt right now. Like, it'd be no excuse not to bring him up. And honestly, I hope Brink's not out long term, because that, you know, who knows how long concussions linger and whatnot. But I don't know. I don't think we have unless I missed something. Have you heard anything on either one of them?
I think I read that Taka talked to him today, and they were both in good spirits, but he was hesitant on saying that they're day to day. And you could either look into that as a good or a bad thing. So if he's hesitant to say that they're day to day, if you're, you know, glass half full kind of guy, you're like, okay, well, maybe they can play tomorrow. If you're glass half empty kind of guy, you could say, well, if they're not, if you maybe he's hesitant to call them day to day because they could be, you know, week to week kind of thing, or maybe a little bit longer than day to day kind of thing. Bottom line is, I think they needed more testing done to figure out what they have going on. If I was a betting man, I would say that they're both going to be out of the lineup tomorrow, which is fine. They're playing Toronto, and then they have a home or back to back against Tampa Bay. I think it's Saturday and Monday. So some tough games coming up, especially, look, if the Flyers are going to be in the thick of this, these are the tough games that are coming up now. Toronto, Tampa Bay twice, I think they just knocked off Colorado in regulation, if I'm not mistaken. So big games coming up. Maybe save them for the weekend. You know, not that Toronto is not going to be a tough game, but, you know, not a homecoming, but we're banking against his former team. Maybe that's the game you keep him in a little longer or whatever. I don't know. So, yeah, but that's what I heard on Drysdale and Brinker there.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I wanted to ask you about the Ducks game was, did you see today that the knee-to-knee from and the guy's name, it was Ross Johnston?
Yeah.
He got nothing, no fine or no suspension. It was accidental. Yeah. Did you think that was accidental, Jim?
I'll tell you what, he could have skated any other way, but chose to skate directly into Jamie Drysdale. I'll say this. He did a good job of making it look like it was an accident, but I think only because he's so big and Drysdale's so small. Because if you watch, he does make sure he gets him. He sticks his leg out just a little bit, you know, and as we all know, like especially in hockey, like these guys are moving way faster than they look. And when a guy twice your friggin' size skates into you just like that, it's like getting hit. It's like a car crash. You know, I think Morgani said last night, Al Morgani said, you can even get a concussion just from your head, you know, whiplashing, which I didn't know. So yeah, you want to hear something crazy, Jack? Like that was like just seconds after Hathaway's hit, right? Or somebody got laid out just before that.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, like there's a lot of game left. The Ducks have a lot of assholes. I just hope they don't go after somebody like a Jamie Drysdale. Literally, I was thinking that. And dude, not 2 seconds later, like I was getting ready to tweet it out. boom, 30 hit. Drysdale's done. And when it happened, I'm like, damn, dude, like almost anybody but him, because he's starting to come around.
And he's dealt with injuries in the past.
Got his game. Yeah, he's got his game going defensively. The offense is starting to trickle back, the confidence, you know what I mean? And then boom, a bullshit dirty hit. And hopefully, I just hope that he doesn't miss significant time that's going to derail anything for him, because dude, it's coming. Jamie Drysdale's figuring shit out. We're going to start. I mean, look, maybe not this year, but I would bet a lot of money next year would be a 40-point season for Jamie Drysdale. And then it would keep going from there, you know?
I would hope so.
Dude, I was like, my heart sank a little bit when I saw that it was him, but I knew it was coming, dude. I swear I did.
I believe it. I thought it was coming too. I mean, not really, but when I look back at I saw an angle. He's looking at Drysdale or that area of the ice and Drysdale from the bench. Yeah. He's obviously right about to get on. Like, come on, how stupid is they just don't care about the players. They just don't care. They just do whatever and make it work. And I'm like, he is clearly looking at him from the bench as he gets on, and he just magically, accidentally. It was the dumbest shit. It was clear as day. Maybe he didn't mean to knee him or something, but he was probably going to miss him, so out goes the knee. That was accident on my ass. I don't even care if a Ross Johnston gets suspended. What's he do for the Ducks besides hurt the opponent? Like, I don't really care, but this to read that it was accidental, it's like, stop. Accidental, my balls.
I don't know how you can get kicked out of a game and not suspended or fined. Like, what you did was enough to get kicked out of it. It's pretty hard to get kicked out of a hockey game.
Right.
And he was kicked out and just nothing. The league was like, that's hockey.
Yeah, essentially.
The refs that you know what I mean, that you pay to officiate these games thought it was bad enough to kick him out.
NHL just making itself look like a joke again. That's just
yeah. And then there was that other play where I think it was after Hathaway hit somebody else, and then Gudis goes after him. Clean hit,
which they almost reviewed for a major. Do you ever hear that? So
which I respect, just to see. Like, that's what we hear they're doing these days. Like, they're calling the 5 and then they go back and see if they need to reverse it. Fine, but I think overall, at least from the angles that we were shown, clean hit. Gudis goes after Hathaway, and they both get 5 for fighting. And I'm like, well, if you figured out that Hathaway's hit was clean, if it wasn't a major penalty, how does Gudis not get the extra 2 for going after him? Like, we're just dishing out 5 for fighting for clean and for clean hits. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
the only difference between the instigator that I think it was Kate's got was he slashed him with the stick, where Gudis did not slash with the stick. He faked dropping the gloves before actually dropping the gloves. This is how petty and stupid it was. He clearly instigated the fight, clear as day. And that's the NHL. Just they don't know their own rules. They know them to an extent, like what it is. But like, as far as wherever discretion or shades of gray come in, they're completely clueless. They have no idea. You see it with goaltender interference. You see it with shit like this. You see it with the NHL player safety. It's all over the game. They don't know. They're flipping coins and figuring it out as they go.
You know what they should do? You know how in baseball, when the pitchers start throwing behind batters or whatever, they warn both benches, next guy to do it again. They're getting booted out. Dude, as soon as there's a hit like Ross Johnston on Jamie Drysdale, the referees need to send a message. If there's anything similar to that the rest of the night, if they determine it's intentional, for example, the Trouba forearm to Barkey, like, yeah, sure, it's nice that he got 2 minutes and, the penalty and whatnot. But you can't tell me that wasn't intent. Like, he made sure to get him in the face. Kick his ass right out. But let the benches know, hey, if there's any more of this kind of shit, we're going to give a 5-minute power play and you're gone. Like, the refs need to control. I know that we loved last night, but you don't want to see guys get hurt. And maybe a little bit of this comes from half of the Flyers team is like how many dwarves are there in Snow White? 12 dwarves or 7 dwarves. The Flyers got them. Like, the Flyers, half the team is under 5'8". Like, legit. I know they're listed 5'10", 5'11". They're not. They're 5'8", 5'9", 5'7". And the Ducks, I think, were targeting these guys. I'm almost a little bit happy Michkov didn't play last night because he's one of those guys,
Sorry, I'm still on the dwarf thing. It's in the title, so Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But I get your point. Yeah, I just because it's hockey, I don't know if something they're supposed to like the way they assess penalties, like an instigator penalty, or instead of taking one guy, they'll take both guys. That's supposed to be a way to like, help that out. But I get your point too. When things get real dirty and they're not doing anything about it, Gudis from the top with the elbow and Trouba with the flying forearm. Yeah, it's kind of wild. It's so blatantly obvious too. It's like because
like the Flyers don't have these guys.
But my
anymore.
thing is, if I'm Anaheim and we're losing and we're sticking up for Cutter, they're throwing elbows and cheap shit all game because the Flyers ain't scoring on the power play. So it's like, just do what you got to do. So at that point, it's like, well, I guess we got to step in here and do something. That's the league or something, or NHL player safety assessing fines and whatnot. And they're terrible at their job. They're terrible at doing it. They get so easily fooled.
Well, if you're going to take the enforcer out of the game, the referees need to protect the players, right? And I know the Flyers have a Delorier and
well, you know what charging is? You see this comment?
We should be real about the Hathaway hits too. Then they were both charging, even as I didn't think they were charging.
Charging is when you actually move your feet and push off. The last hit, Hathaway did not. He skated. He didn't move his feet. He just came in and nailed him. So maybe the first, I don't remember the first hit, but the second hit, the hit at the end, before the Goose fight, that was not charging. I don't remember.
I wonder if the first one was the one right before Johnston came out and hit.
I honestly don't remember that hit. But I know the last hit was not, because we were trying to figure out why there was a major being reviewed. So Bush was like, what was it, charging or something? So they reviewed that, and it was all clean. As far as the hit before the Johnston hit, I honestly don't remember. But if it was charging, call it. Like, I'm not gonna. It is, it is what it is. But I disagree on the last hit.
Well, maybe I'm wrong though, right? Because the NHL's they want to take the violence out of the game. That's right, for the most part. And if that's the case, the referees need to do something before things like last night happen. And look, I don't want to make a huge deal about it because it was an awesome game, but the Flyers lost some guys last night, and they could have lost 3. If Trouba hit Barkey in the right spot. It's all about where you get somebody. I think he got him in the upper lip. If he gets him under the chin, that's the concussion button there. That's all it takes. And so, like, if I'm just saying, the referees got to protect the players, and they need to figure out a better way. After you see one stupid hit, there needs to be some kind of warning. Like, guys, that's one and done. Anybody from this point out, if we deem it's a 5-minute major, you're done for the game. And we're not, we'll dish it out right away. 2 minutes are gone if we think it's 5. Does that make sense? So I know it's extreme, but
I just rewatched.
The Flyers don't have those guys anymore, man. Like, they don't.
No, but the game's changing too, and it's tough because you don't want to take the game out of the game and have these people who are like, because what's next? No more fighting. Like, there's always people who have been pushing for that for 25 years. But it's tough because you don't. I don't want to become like the NFL where you can't, get to the point where you can't even touch the quarterback. Like, you got to find a happy medium. But I did rewatch the first Hathaway hit. That probably was charging. It looks like he was really trucking. But I couldn't see the whole play. But I think I'm like, I see at least 2 strides. So if there was one more stride, it's charging, and there could have been. So he was really moving too. So call it. It is what it is. I'm not saying let things go or let the game police itself, because I don't trust it to anymore with how the referees and NHL player safety are. But at the end of the day, the referees and NHL player safety and whatnot, they all got to do a better job. That's what it comes down to. When you're letting guys get away with, it was accidental. Like, give me a break, man. Like, I think they let guys get away with too much. We've seen suspensions handed out that are like, okay, well, at least they suspended them, and then they get like appealed, and they win the appeal, and it gets either halved or erased or something. It's like, and it's a lot of the players like get hurt on the play. They're like, because it's a union for the players that are the NHLPA that are fighting the hit or the suspension rather, and the hurt players like, I pay for this union too. Like, what are you doing? Like, what about me? So I get it. I don't know what the happy medium is in the middle without hurting the game too much, but last night wasn't a good example of it, although it was a good game. So very tough.
Yeah. And the guy that made it, I think he put like the cherry on top of everything, right? Because it used to be the Cutter game, and it still is. And by the way, you're allowed to still hate Cutter Gauthier.
Oh yeah. Oh, we're gonna get into that, please.
I'm sure, but it's also now the Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale game,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And Trevor Zegras showed up last night. Like, I don't know, there's just something about like a guy facing his former team and really wanting to stick it to him and then doing it, because everybody can talk and say this and that. And he was kind of coy before the game. He didn't want to talk too much, which I appreciate that. Kind of let his play do the talking. And then afterwards, talk all the shit you want, say whatever you want to say,
Beautiful.
because you feel validated kind of thing. Dude, this dude, Trevor Zegras, Jack, I think is going to get over 10 million a year.
Ooh. So
Yeah.
that was getting brought up in the chat. What we think? You want to say what you think? If it were to be say it were to be signed,
I would give him 8 years, 10 million today.
So that was what
It's
I
only
thought. That's
going
where
up,
I'm at.
I think.
That's where I'm at. I think if he signs it, because it's always more than you want it to be, and I was hoping to keep it under 8 at earlier in the year, 9. Excuse me. But now I'm thinking, I'm like, I would like be okay with 8 for 10 for over 8 because, or 10 for 8, because like you said, if this keeps going, if he finishes the season at the rate he's at now, he's going to get 82 points. He's going to break career highs in goals and assists, and he'll be the highest scoring Flyer since Giroux. Like it's like I'm almost at this point where I'm like, as long as he stays healthy, just if you can sign it. But I think I'm Cutter's. Cutter, oh my god, if you're his camp, if you're Zegras' camp, are you telling him to sign now? Are you worried about injury, or let's ride this out and break the bank?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. From my perspective, the only reason something's not done yet would be because the player would want more money. You know,
Right.
Otherwise, you take it and run if you're Zegras, because he's getting over 8 right now, over 9. I mean, at least 8, but he could hit 40 goals this year. He's at 17 now through 41 games. His career high is 23, so he's 6 away from tying his career high halfway through the season. 80 you said he's on pace for 82 points in 82 games, and he's playing with Dvorak, who we'll talk about. And like, imagine if he was playing with, and Konechny's a good offensive player, so don't get any of this wrong. But I think Zegras could be even better. If he had maybe a more skilled center. And I think Dvorak's perfect for him. I think they're working, they have a nice tandem going. So I don't want to discredit Dvorak while I'm saying this, but like, Dvorak's not the most offensively talented center. And Zegras' point per game, he's uplifting his line mates, which to me, that is the epitome of a star player is, yeah, you're good and you're putting up good numbers. You're doing great things. All of a sudden, your center, Christian Dvorak, signing, $5 million by 5-year contracts because he's playing better, and Travis Konechny's putting up offensive numbers. When you make other players better too, that's a star.
Yeah.
And Trevor Zegras is hands down. I think he's on his way to being a superstar in this league. Dude, get him, lock him up. If he wants 10 today, give him 10. It's only going to go up, man. The star is shining bright.
Oh, man.
I think you just get it done, man. Just lock him up. Give him what he needs. And let's go.
So Olson Math here brings up, this is what I brought up earlier. It's almost like I feel like they're not hoping, but like waiting for the potential, not long-term injury, but like, bagged up, miss a couple of games, maybe get off of his hot streak or something. It's tough. I want to see him freak out, but I also don't want them to have to break the bank when they have so many more needs. I don't know what they're waiting for. But at the end of the day, I think it's Zegras' camp holding things up, not the Flyers. Maybe early on, the Flyers were a little reluctant, and it's going to bite them. But today, at least from like Christmas to today, or even before that, I think it's Zegras' camp. Like, you could probably get paid here. But if you're Zegras, I did great things for the role I was in and being a rookie in Anaheim. and they played hardball with me, and look how things were there. I'm happy here. I like it here. Do I really want to hold their feet to the fire? I want to be here. So I hope that there's some kind of based his wants and needs and the Flyers taking a chance on him, and that they don't have to break the bank. I mean, we're already talking 10 mil per. It'd be the first. Our highest paid player per season is Konechny, and he doesn't even make 9. So like this will be it per season. So, but again, where else is your money going to go at this point? They really don't have a plan for center. I know he's not playing center, but he's a stud. So like, just lock him up. It is what it is. Just lock him up.
You know what since you mentioned center there, you know what I can't really stand is that there are some people that think he's not playing center because he's not good at faceoffs, which is just not true because he could play center and Dvorak could play on his left side and Dvorak could still take the faceoff. So it doesn't matter what position you play. If you're good at faceoffs, you're going to take the faceoffs. Noah Cates is just as bad, if not worse, at faceoffs. And nobody blinks an eye for some reason with Noah Cates. And I'm sure he's probably a little better defensively, but he's a natural left winger, Noah Cates. Nobody says shit about why, Noah Cates and playing center. He's not good at faceoffs. So, I just wanted to point that out that doesn't mean jack it doesn't mean shit when it comes to playing center, the whole face-off thing.
Yeah, you can get around it, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah,
I think for me, it was a confidence thing for Zegras, like get his game back, which he clearly has. But it's a little bit of Tocchet's reluctancy for all other aspects of the center position at this time, anyway. Plus, he's got a good rapport with Dvorak, so why break that up?
Mm-hmm. Sure. All right. So yeah, pay that man. I would have loved to see if they could, if they could have wowed him a month or 2 ago. Like, dude, right away. I mean, what did I say right away? Dude, pay him. Give him $8 million now. Like, I think back in like October, November, because you could see like, shit, this kid's for real. He's playing free, and he's going to put up numbers, and it's not going to. There was no reason for it to stop, and it's not. Knock on wood. Now, and when I've been saying it the whole time, the longer this thing waits here, and it's to nobody's fault because I'm sure that they're talking whatever. I'm like, dude, cha-ching, every night, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's just not stopping, and so here we are. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he'll still surprise us, and maybe he wants to win a Stanley Cup and he signs for 8.5 still. Who knows? But certainly seems like you could see now a 10 per year AAV. Happening for sure.
Yep, for sure.
Speaking of contracts, Christian Dvorak signed, Jack. And I think a few weeks ago, I know a lot of people, will disagree. But he was a guy, I'm like, dude, sign this guy. And for one of the massive reasons I wanted to bring him back was for Trevor Zegras, because they work so well. Now, I think I said 3 years. And I would give him 5.5 and go all the way to 6 for those 3 years. Flyers went to 5. So I know it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I'm not going to say those people are wrong for being a little upset about it. But what are your thoughts, Jack, on the 5-year deal for Dvorak?
Well, initially, I really wasn't happy about it. Obviously more details came out. I was like, I'm glad we saved some money, I guess. But I was like, Jesus, 5 years, like that's as long. Like him and Coots' contracts went at the same time. Like, how many bottom pair centermen do we need? And then I thought more about it, and it's like, well, we don't have any top centermen, top 2, so it's like, well, I guess that's why you do it. He was probably going to be the top center on the market, and while 3 years at 5.5 made sense, maybe even 6 if you had to. 5 years, like I'm happy for Dvorak. I'm glad it makes Zegras happy. I'm glad the team's happy. It's like the front office is finally backing them up, and we're not trading Sean Walkers at the trade deadline. They're mean what they say, and they've said all this time. I think what frustrates me a lot is like, oh, they should have traded him. They were never going to do that. Like, unless this season was an absolute dumpster fire, which it clearly was not, it was never going to happen. So I don't even know why it was like discussed, but it just tells me that they don't have much of a plan at center going forward. Free agency dried up. Their draft picks don't look too impressive at the center position when you consider you need a number 1 and even a number 2. And I think that's what makes me a little nervous. Now, Dvorak, you're locked in for the next 2 years, but after that, the no trade clauses start to kick in where it's like half. The third year, it's like half, and then the fourth year, it's like a lot more easier, and then there's none on the fifth year. So it could technically be a 2 or 3 year deal that they move if they have to. So we'll have to wait to part 2 of this to feel better about it. I like Dvorak. He's having a career year. He's going to be 30. So I'm a little nervous about that. But look, he's playing well with Zegras. Is it both of them? Is it Zegras pumping up his numbers? Is it Tocchet pumping up his numbers? I don't know, because he's played good with Tocchet. Because I don't know. I'm very indifferent, but what really bothers me is like they really don't have a plan for top centers for this team, and that bothers me to no end.
I don't know if I would say that they don't have a plan. I think, all right, so I'll say they probably had to pivot to a plan B after, whatever happened with this summer. Like, teams are signing their own guys, like that happens. And that's what the Flyers did here. They said, okay, so what if we let Christian Dvorak walk? That opens up a hole in our roster, right? And I think, so I'm not as down on the Flyers center prospects, I think, as most, but I can say that I don't know for sure that any of them will be able to walk into the lineup and hold down their position next year. So signing Dvorak, bringing him back makes sense. Now, even I was like, 5 years, that's interesting. But after chewing on it a little bit, like, you need, I think, overlappage on your roster, especially maybe at the center position. Like, because we talk about Luchenko a lot, and like, even during his rookie year, you had guys kind of bitching, like, oh, he's not ready. And he was 17 when they drafted him. He's 19 years old now. He'll be 20 on August 21st. This is a prospect that needs to develop, right? And so even if he's 20 years old, I would still say that he's like 2 years from really producing in the NHL. And when I mean production, I mean like 40+ point seasons, right? Like, so they need somebody to fill in the position, the center position. And I know we have Coots, we have Cates, and Dvorak's played well enough to, I know he's playing 1C now. And I say this a lot. Just because someone's playing the position doesn't mean that they are a 1C. And I think the Flyers know that with Dvorak. Like, they didn't pay him like a 1C. He's getting $5 million over 5 years. They paid him like a 3C. And when guys like Luchenko, and now everyone's talking about Jack Berglund, he had a really good World Junior tournament, and even Nesbitt, who I think is 3-4 years away, that's when you start to filter these guys in, and in a perfect world, Dvorak now slides down into his natural 3C spot in 2 to 3 years.
And that's the part I'm worried about.
Why?
Because who's sliding up?
Well, I think the expectation is, like I said, the guys, like, you're developing guys, and the Flyers have done a decent job developing. And, I have no reason to believe that they won't develop Luchenko, that they won't develop a Nesbitt, that they won't develop a Berglund when they get their hands on them. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, in 2 to 3 years, we start flexing these guys into, the top 6. Or, like, who's to say that they still can't make a trade? Like, why did that automatically stop when they signed Dvorak?
No, and it better not. And I'm still this could all make me feel better if they do something over the offseason. I just don't know what it is. Praying to God. I'm not saying that I don't think that Nesbitt and Luchenko and Berglund, they can't be NHL players. But realistically, like, I will bet my house on it. Not one of those guys is a 1C. I'm hoping. I'll take it now. If you had to say 2 of these guys miss and one of them's a guaranteed 2C, would you take it and say, yes, I'll absolutely take that? Because I don't know. Like, Berglund's look great in World Juniors. You know who they're comping him to? Michael Handzus. And I love Michael Handzus. Great 3C. Awesome 3C.
Well, where did you see the Michael Handzus comp?
Where did I hear that?
Because the guy that drafted him compared him to Mikko Koivu, who Maybe they put up similar numbers and whatnot.
This comp was very recent. And look, it's a comp. I know how much you love comps, but my point is, realistically, I don't see any of these guys as NHL top tier or top 1-2 Cs. And could I be wrong? Sure, but like if one of them does,
I don't know if any of them are 1C either.
No, because they're rare. Let's be realistic; they're rare.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like you look around the league, and how many teams have a legitimate, honest top line 1C? I would say majority of the teams have, idealistically 2Cs playing in their 1C position.
Well, I will say the teams winning cups have 1Cs, and that's the end goal here. So I'm kind of like, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need something. We need something close to it at least. Mm-hmm. Like and like even if it's a really good 2C with our elite wingers, we can make that work. I don't even think we're in that realm. So I just good for Dvorak. I understand the overage. I understand we need him now, but I look at our center depth / situation going forward, and I'm baffled on how they figure it out. I truly am. And maybe Dvorak makes more sense at this timeline because who's coming in for him? And I hope Luchenko, maybe I'm putting too much into the World Juniors, but and he is younger, but he's guys who were just drafted this past year, which he would have been a normal draft for Luchenko. They were all playing above him. And everybody's standing out for the most part. Luchenko's he started off winger on the third line. I think he was in the fourth line. He had 1 point. He had an assist. Just usually good players.
I think we talked about Luchenko last week, but how much of that is he's playing out of position on a bottom six role?
Well, he's out of position because it wasn't good enough to be put in the position he was in.
Are you sure about that?
I think that they felt that other players who played center on those lines were better than Luchenko at that time.
How do we know it wasn't this guy's a defensively responsible player? We can play him out of position.
He stood out more,
and let this guy play center.
I think
he knows how to play the position.
Maybe if he stood out more. I mean, he really didn't.
I'm just going to come up with all the reasons that
Well, probably it's not a big enough sample size either.
No,
but I am worried because we're not talking about a guy hoping it's not like we took this guy 27th overall and we hope he's an NHL player we can use. We're looking for top centers, and these are our guys. These are our centers. Yeah. This is how we build from within, and we went through a rebuild, and these are the centers we're with. So the answer is Hail Mary trade. That is the answer for our something resembling a 1C is the Hail Mary trade. And I don't know if I see it happen. You never know. A lot of people like to bring up, Eichel was traded. Well, he also had experimental neck surgery and a rift with the team that led to him being traded. So I don't think that's a good comparison. So I don't know. We'll see. But with more money in the cap, less guys are going to free agency. We just saw that happen. So I'm a little concerned. The Dvorak was kind of eye opening to this center thing's going to be a problem. I'm glad the team's good now. They can keep adding here and there, but it's still going to be a problem. We don't really have much of an answer right now. Hope and see and wait and pray.
Nah, yeah, I didn't get that. I think it triggered a lot of PTSD is what I think it did in a lot of people.
Oh yeah, well those are the people who react immediately the second they see mediocre player, 30 years old and a contract year, best year of his career year. Yeah, I get that. I let that wave wash over, and I kind of looked deeper at it, and I was like, they had to do. I wanted to keep the guy around because I don't know who else you have. Was what you said. And I do agree with that. And I don't dislike keeping Dvorak. I mean, I do like that you can get out of that contract if you have to later down the line. Down the line is where I'm worried. I'm like, if you're getting out of it, who's coming in? And how good are they? Because I'm worried. I'm honest to God, just from my heart of hearts, I'm worried. I think they have NHL players in the pipeline, but I don't think they're top of the lineup guys at all.
Yeah, I guess my thinking is, well, let's say, I mean, I think the problem is that it's past 3 years for Dvorak, right? If it was a 3-year deal, I think for whatever reason, I think people would be not as fearful, maybe. Because I think in a perfect world, we'd all say, all right, well, in 3 years, this guy will be ready to go. That's why it's only 3 years.
Right.
Instead, I think, the overlapping is fine. Cause like, and I think of this a lot, like, I guess in business terms, if I have somebody, that knows what they're doing and they're going to move on, I don't know, let's say in a month. And I'm comparing this to Dvorak's 5 years instead of 3. When I get a new guy come in, he's going to be working with the old guy, for, in this case, it's going to be a year or two, right? And that's going to be Luchanko coming into the lineup, learning, working with Dvorak and Couturier, two of the better defensive centers in the league. And Luchanko has the offensive skill. I know everyone's down on the shooting, and yeah, would it be nice to be scored more goals? Sure. But when he comes into this lineup, Luchanko, he's going to have Michkov, Zegras, Tippett, Forster, Konechny, all these guys that can put the puck in the net for him, right? And so, like, to me, he's like one of the more perfect guys. He's going to be defensively sound. And so by his third year, I think he'll be putting up 50, 60 points, and who knows, maybe more, I don't know. But that's how I saw Luchanko from the start, 50, 60 point guy. But like, you need some overlappage so that the new guys learn from the old guys, and they need to cross paths for, in this case, I guess, a year or so, 2-3 years. And then, Dvorak will move on and you kind of keep doing the same things. But if you have a guy, let's say, sign him to a 2-year deal because your rookie's going to be up here in 2 years, they never really cross paths. So it's like, who's the new guy, kind of taking over for? Who's he learning from, kind of thing? Is this making sense? There's just like,
the idea makes sense.
Yeah, symmetry and transitionness,
it's the actors in the idea that I am worried about, because I think nurturing can only get you so far. You're going to have like true talent. And I think there's something there with Jet. What you said, you're like, oh, he's going to have wingers like this. I feel like he's either going to be a 3C that with his wingers, he'd make it work as a 2C, or he's actually better than I expected. He's more of a low-end 2C, and with these wingers, he's our de facto 1C. Either way, we're still banking on our wingers and Zavragan, I guess, and maybe Vladar. It depends on how far along we are. And maybe some better defensive play to make it work. And I guess that's possible. I just don't see how often a team with not a true 1C has really made them won the cup. I'll just say it, like, won the cup. Like, I look back at all the previous cup winners.
The St. Louis Blues now.
They had, what was it, Shen? There you go. Is Jet Luchanko
available?
Braden Shen. Yeah, I mean, they did have Tarasenko at it, when he was.
I think he could put up similar numbers. I do think he could.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, like, how many times have I said, I don't want to rebuild and build a team like the St. Louis Blues, where you hope you just catch lightning in a bottle and you're last place mid-season, fire your coach and replace your goalie, who was Jordan Binnington at that time, and then just take off and win the cup.
Dude, I was just trying to get you going here.
I mean, like that's great. If we're going for that, I'm gonna have to find a lot of 4-leaf clovers and maybe a genie. Like, it's. I don't think that's a proper way to build a team, which is why I'm worried. Could it happen? Sure, anything can happen. I can get struck by lightning right now, but like, I don't think that's the way we should be going about things. It made me worried, because I understand why they re-signed Dvorak, and I actually like how they did it. And my first thought is, mediocre player. It's like, damn, they don't know what's going on at center. They are still hoping. When your plan is hope and pray, and it's like, Jet has been around for so long, and it's just, and then I don't want to get into it again, just to repeat everything I already previously said, but like, you can't look and be like, yeah, I'm confident that he'll be the guy, the center of the future. I can't say that about Jet at all. I mean, I don't say that about Nesbitt. Berglund he was a second round pick, and people are like, that was phenomenal what we just saw, but the ceiling is still low. Like, and that's the problem, and that's what I'm afraid of.
Well, I mean, it helps to get top line minutes on a team that doesn't have. I mean, I know they won it all, but Canada has more skill. They had more skill. And unfortunately, Jet found himself in the bottom 6. So there was a couple questions in here, a couple good points. I don't know if you already put these up. Can somebody give me the definition of a 1C? What in your mind is definition of a 1C, Jack?
True center, all situations, true center, superstar, Nathan McKinnon. Like a guy who can, I mean, McDavid seems like too easy of an answer. I feel like he could play goalie and be really good. But like, he's a guy, he's he's strong on the faceoffs. He's strong at pretty much everything, but he's obviously got the skill to play, to score, to put up points, to be a playmaker. He can play in your PK, your power play, any situation in overtime. He's your go-to guy, and he plays the center position.
All right.
Truly plays the center position. Now,
before you said superstar, I was like, you're describing Sean Couturier right now in his prime. In his prime now, like when he was scoring 76 points.
No, there was a time where like if Coots was more the Bergeron type, and you get him a supporting cast, that team could win a cup. The Bruins did that. He was kind of Bergeron light. We were hoping he was trending to scoring more points, but like you could work with that version of Couturier if you have the surrounding cast is incredible. If you have Tim Thomas and Zdeno Chara, and the rest of the Marchand's like your second, third line guy, yeah, you can make that work. But we don't even have anything remotely close to that.
Did you think Bergeron was a 1C?
Yes, but more on the low end. He's definitely a 1C, but his strengths were more in the defensive part of the game. But he definitely gave plenty on offense. He wasn't going to go out there and score you over 110 points on the average. He's not a Kucherov or whatnot.
He never scored over 79 points.
Some of those years, though, I guarantee you the top point scorer scored like 87 points or something. Those were a few years in there where the scoring was a little bit lower.
But he missed a lot of time.
He was a little injury prone. But like he was their 1C, and he had Krejcik as a 2C who was great. Obviously, Marchand was lower in the lineup. They had the other guys that have retired that I can't even think of.
He only won one cup, surprisingly.
2011, but they went to what, 2, 1, or 3?
It's possible.
They beat Vancouver in 2011. They lost to the Blues, and what was that, 2019, 18, something like that. But they were always in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they lost to Chicago one year. I think they lost Chicago in like 2015 or something. So like they were definitely there in the dance, plenty. And if we could have him as our 1C, we'd be in business. So there's not every guy's going to be Nathan McKinnon. There's other versions of it, but I don't think we're anything close to that.
No, I think that's kind of what I was thinking earlier. Like, how many teams have a Nathan McKinnon, Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, who the Flyers?
Look at the Sharks.
They could have. They
could
have. Look, it would have been done by now.
Yeah.
The tank seasons.
Just look at the previous, like Florida won back-to-back cups. Get Barkov's their top center. McDavid has gotten the Oilers to back-to-back cups. He's their center. Avalanche won. They got McKinnon. The Knights won. They had Eichel. I mean, who am I missing? Like go back. The Lightning's got Kucherov, and like it's all center. Like they all have great players, and most of them are centers. A lot of those teams have number one defensemen as well.
I'm interested to see here who's
not all though.
Minnesota's top center.
Oh, geez.
I know they have that Eriksson Ek guy, but let me see
he might be de facto. Is it Boldy? Is Boldy? No, he's a winger.
I wonder if Minnesota could be like the blueprint here.
But they haven't they're good, but they gotta win. That's a good question.
Team roster. Center, Joel Eriksson Ek, if I'm not mistaken, is their top line guy, and he's kind of like, I'm not going to compare him to Bergeron, but he's been in the Selke conversation, if I'm not mistaken.
So again, maybe they can, if they can win the cup, then I'll feel better because they got elite wingers and they got some hell of defensemen out there. They have Quinn Hughes and Brock Faber, and even Spurgeon's still out there and whatnot, and Broden, and they got, and I think a pretty good goaltending too. So, it's tough to say. They got to win first before I buy in on that one. I missed a lot of comments. Holy shit.
Minnesota is 25, 11, and 8 for 58 points. They are tied for second in the league. I want to see how they've been since the Hughes trade. Because
yeah, I think this
is off. They have Boldy.
I think this is an outlier, especially with how good.
Well, I'm just looking to see
No, I'm sorry.
Is it possible?
The comment here.
Oh, can we find a way?
Like they wouldn't win the President's Trophy last year. Come on.
Yeah, so I'm just looking for can we find a way without the superstar 1C?
Oh, there you go. O'Reilly won. They're right. The Blues year, O'Reilly. He won the Conn Smythe and the defense.
He was a 1C that won it out of a couple places.
Yeah, I mean, I think
1Cs get moved. I don't know if Reinhardt played C in Florida. These guys get moved more often than we think. The thing is, when the situation comes up, the Flyers need to be ready. Like the Quinn Hughes thing kind of came up and boom, he was moved. So, the situation's going to have to present itself,
Yeah.
Where were you here? Oh, we're now in.
And this is true. Nothing means you're going to do anything. Like a lot of people like to say, with tanking, it's like, well, tanking doesn't always win a cup. It's like, but I get that. But it puts you in the best position to get the best players that we are struggling now to find to get a cup. So just because you have a 1CD and G doesn't mean you're going to do anything. But I would rather have those and try to fit the pieces around them than to have the pieces and try to find the true number 1 C's and D's that everybody's saying that don't exist, because they don't. And teams aren't trading them except for a really rare situation. So that's why I'm worried. The best you can do is draft. And that year where, I agree with take best player available, but you had that year we almost made the playoffs and you wound up getting Jet Luchenko out of that draft, where there was a lot of guys at the top of that draft. Not that they were going to get Macklin Celebrini, but I believe that was first overall pick that year. You were drafting 7th, lucky to get Michkov when Bedard goes number 1 overall. The highest you drafted realistically is 6th, and I think you made the right pick because I don't know how good Haggis is going to be, but you took Martone as a winger. It's like, so where's the set? When will you go try to adjust the center position? It couldn't have just been Luchenko at 13, trade back Luchenko, boom. There had to be more in the plan here. And I think there was a little bit of a hope and pray with free agency and they're drafting and developing. And I think this signing kind of told me that they're going to have to kick the can down the road a little bit and figure things out and hope for the best.
Yeah, I would love to see. I mean, dude, if you want to see him move, you're preaching to the choir. I think it should be now.
Yeah.
Go find that. Go find them.
You mean mid-season.
And let's make a cup run now.
Well, how are the Blues doing, Jim? Because Buffalo's on the way to a cup, so that all that Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin talk is out the door.
So I just heard that he walked. So I heard that Kekalainen. I think I saw this on Spit and Chicklets clip. I heard that Kekalainen walked in and said, "You're all expendable." So none of them are safe, right? And I still think that they could make moves out there. I think there's probably going to be an evaluation period. Right now, I think they all have a little, fire in their ass. They just got their GM fired. And I don't know if they like them anyways, but they put on I think they had a 9-game win streak snapped recently, but we'll see what happens in Buffalo. I wouldn't trust that everyone's going to stay. Their defense is still a little jacked up. They got 3 guys making over like $6-8 million or something like that. Bowen Byram's contracts. I just, something could still happen. Where I really wanted to get to was Ristolainen is rumored available, right? Which is interesting that they would announce he's available now. Let me just get the Puckpedia real quick. Because, typically I'm against Risto moving, and I still kind of am. I think I'm known Risto fan now. Let me just see. Is his contract up this year or next year? I thought it was next year.
I thought it was next year. I thought they re-signed him this year for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, Risto's in year 4
Risto,
of 5. Yeah, so he's making 5.1. remainder of this year and next year. So maybe they're just putting it out, to get it a little early,
right after
the trade deadline kind of thing.
Also, right after the blowback of the Dvorak re-signing, it kind of pops up. Oh yeah, by the way, Risto could be available for a monumental price.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting to me. Like maybe they saw how they played without him in the lineup, and they're like, we can get by without him, kind of thing. Maybe we want to keep that door open for guys like Murchison to come up and whatnot.
I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah, and so I love Ristolainen. Love what he brings to the table. They're trying him out on the power play again. He's got that bomb shot that they so desperately need from the point on the power play to just open things up. But not opposed to it. Like I'm seeing my guy Andre in the lineup. Jamie Drysdale's coming along. Travis Sanheim, in my opinion, is a legit number 2 defenseman. And he's a perfectly fine 1D on the Flyers. All right.
Yeah.
They have a good committee thing going on defense. Do I think that should make Ristolainen expendable? Not necessarily. But if someone's going to come in and kind of blow you away for Risto, how can you turn that down? And again, I'm not saying take your first round pick and move on. It's got to be like, dude, prospect, pick, player, and let's move on here, right?
I think there's an opportunity to make the team better here. It's funny, I'm still on the trade Risto because he's starting to show he's injury prone. I like him. He's a big guy, but he doesn't really play all that physical. It depends on what you would get, but he's older too. So by all means, you want to see what you have. You can get some assets. And now that you don't have a answer at 1C, you're going to need more assets to go get one potentially. So I don't know what they're looking for because Briere came out and said basically that they're not going to make trades like that, like for picks and prospects. But if picks are universal currency to get what you want, do what you got to do. It would be weird. Somebody said about mixed. Yeah, I think that's it. You signed Dvorak. You kind of locker room's pumped up. They're happy. And you turn around and trade Risto. It's like, what are you telling the locker room there? So that tells me it's got to be like kind of, I don't know about player for player, but like some kind of player for player deal. Like what team is has contract issues that you could like give them a shorter term deal and get somebody maybe a little bit better, but you take on bigger and longer of a cap hit, something like that.
Dude, I'm laughing because people are mentioning Ryan Leonard in chat, and
how much you love them
anywhere, man. But so I'll say this on Risto, and this is without 100% certainty, but I'm not sure how essential he is to the room the same way that a guy like Dvorak and Zegras and some of these other new guys that are coming in. And then he is on the wrong side of 30. His contract's up in a year. So I don't know that moving on from Risto would hurt the room as much. Usually when you're hurt, you're not with the team. You're kind of doing your own thing. And it's been, I think, 2 years where Risto has missed a decent amount of time. Let me just check here.
Yeah. It's been like
63 games last year, 31 the year before. So he missed a massive chunk in 2023-24. And then, he missed the last 20 games of last year. And like I said, when you're hurt, you're not traveling with the team. You're not really doing things with the team. You're kind of doing things on your own. So for a lot of that, he's not necessarily around the guys in the room. And not to say that they're not including him, blah, blah, blah. But he's not necessarily like a glue guy kind of thing. And from what I've heard about him is he's kind of like a lone wolf, do things his own way kind of thing. Like I was even surprised I shouldn't have been, but from what I've heard about him, I was surprised to see him accept the Olympic position for Finland. Because from what I heard last year, and this is from a Finnish source, is he kind of was blowing off the national team. I don't know if he played in the Four Nations or was Finland even in that. I don't remember now, but
so, yeah.
Like all the meetings and stuff that they were supposed to be having, he was kind of just not doing it. And they really want Risto. He's one of their best defensemen, Finland. So this isn't all negative stuff about him. It's just kind of how he is. Everybody's different, right? So I'm not sure how essential he is to the room kind of thing. I just wanted to put that out there.
And you're telling me over the last 2 seasons he's missed nearly 100 games? I'll trade him all day, Jim.
Last 2, yeah, almost 100 games.
That's crazy.
I mean, yeah, but like, get what you want for him. I'm still on that. Like, don't just ship them out just to ship
no, because how do you sell that to your locker room? They got to get something. To me, they got to get something they can use now.
Now all the
gotta get creative.
Now all the silly stat people are coming out and saying he's a legitimate top 4 guy, and I'm like, no shit, dog. Like the eye test has matched that for almost his whole Flyers tenure. Right. He's been a legit top 4 guy. So get something for him. These are the type of guys that you can get a haul for at the trade deadline, I think. And it's, look, you want to see, like, when Fletcher brought him in, right? This is what everybody kind of joked around about, the playoff Risto stuff. This is the kind of guy you need in the playoffs. And, you know, it's going to be funny, I think, because maybe we actually get in this year and we move Risto at the deadline. Yeah. And it's like, holy shit, man. In all the years he was here, we never got to see it. So
I would do all for that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd make another deal with Anaheim. That'd be great.
That'd be funny, right?
He's wanted out. He's wanted out, this guy.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll see. I do any movement's good, especially for a guy like that. Not that I hate him or anything. I just don't really see him as a part of the future. So get what you can.
All right. So we're a little over an hour now. We didn't really talk about Zamula all that much. Is there anything else you wanted to wrap up with before we touch on that?
No, we can go right into Zamula.
You want to actually, you know what? You want to get the read in before we get to Zamula?
Great idea, Jim.
And that whole saga.
Hold on. Let me find it, because
take your time.
Believe it or not, I do not have
standings up here. Just saw that you're on. Oh, all good, Cliff. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Some really nice comments.
All right, let me present the standings.
To show just the comments. All right, ready, Jimmy?
Go for it, yeah.
All right, guys. Quick timeout, because if you're a diehard Philly fan, you need to hear about this. Fans of Philly is the ultimate way to hit the road with the Birds, the Flyers, the Phillies, or even the Sixers. We're talking full travel packages with your hotel, transportation, and yes, the tailgates that are basically legendary at this point, all taken care of for you. No stress, no scrambling for tickets, no worrying about where you're staying. You just show up, throw on your jersey, and enjoy the ride with your fellow diehard Philly fans. So whether it's flying out to see the Eagles take over an opponent's arena, cheering on the Flyers in enemy territory, or making it a full weekend getaway for your Phillies and Sixers games, Fans of Philly has you covered. Trust me, this is the closest you'll get to feeling like one of the players when they roll into town, because the takeover is real. So check them out Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and start planning your next Philly sports road trip today. That's Fans of Philly, fansofphilly.com, where every away game feels like a home game.
Very good, Jack. All right, let's get into Zamula, and then we'll wrap up with the standings. So Flyers made the trade for Philip Tomasino, who picked up his first point last week with the Phantoms, and I think they're playing him at center, which is interesting because I thought he was a wing. Anyways, Flyers trade Zamula to the Pittsburgh Penguins of all teams, which is a little funny. And I think the Penguins were looking for cap space anyways. End up terminating Zamula's contract. Doesn't report to Wilkes-Barre Scranton. And I think he was picked up by the Columbus Blue Jackets. So he's playing out in Columbus now with Ivan Provorov. Jack, I mean, when you saw all this, what kind of went through your mind here?
The whole thing is comical to me. Now, I understand you believe in yourself. You got to do what you got to do. And he was determined to get an NHL contract and have a chance again at being an NHL player. I don't know if I see that, but you got to try. So he gets the trade happens. There was this whole Flyers didn't want to terminate the deal. They preferred to get a player. They pretty much get Tomasino for free. And then he refuses to report the Wilkes-Barre or Scranton, wherever. And I just laughed. I was just like, maybe it was all part of the plan, but I still couldn't help but laugh. And I was just like, this whole Zamula thing. I'm like, talk about putting time and effort into just a guy. Like, this is just wild to me. And he signs with Columbus, where Flyers defensemen go to die. And I'm just like, you know what? You do you, pal. I'm sure you'll still be around in a few years. I'm glad that it's just – I wish we would have traded him like 2 years ago when he actually had a little bit of value. And now it's just been this like saga where every week we were asking ourselves, why is he still here? Why is this guy not getting a chance? Why are we holding other guys down for freaking Zamula at this point? Could have made an argument last year, definitely the year before and before that. But so I thought somebody said to me, we've had him, what was it? We've had him for like 8 years in the organization.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, we've had him for that long? Like, that's wild to me.
Yeah, it is crazy. I think it's been since like 2018, which that would be just
7.
right.
7 years. Yeah. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. And I know he was an undrafted guy and they tend to stick around longer, but we've been dealing with again, for a guy who's, in my opinion, a AHL, NHL tweener at best. 7 years. Jesus Christ.
Dude, he stinks.
He's terrible.
You know who we should thank for any position that he gets in the NHL for the rest of his career is John Tortorella. Nobody believed in Igor Zamula like John Tortorella believed in you. I don't even think he believed in him.
Do you remember what he said, though?
What's that?
Talking about Mishkov's, translating Russian and whatnot. And through one interview, he was like, well, for a while, we had a communication problem. So for a while, we had Zamula helping out with that. And then his game went off a cliff. That's what he said. Yeah. So they had to stop that.
Yeah.
I was like, his game went off a cliff. His game's been off a cliff for a while.
He was never on the cliff.
Right. He had that stretch where he was providing a little offense on the power play, and that's it. That's it. Everything else has been, you just don't have it, pal.
That always cracked me up when he says he puts him out on and this will probably be one of the last times we talk about this because I'm sure I've said this ad nauseum. It always made me laugh, like when he's like, Zamula's out there to slow things down. And I'm like, that's all he does. That's his only speed. He's not doing it intentionally. That's just the way he moves. Right. He's like a turtle out there, man, or a sloth, whatever. So, I wanted to see him improve. Like I would watch him live and I'm like, come on, man, you know the play, you know what to do. Just do it. And he would just 1 second, 2 seconds, and that's it. You don't have 3 seconds.
He didn't have that like natural, like I like sport. I like sports where I don't have to think. I just react. He's the opposite. He's the opposite. Like he should be playing baseball where he's got all day to pitch or something like that. Like it just blows my mind. Yeah, he just couldn't do it, man. It's a shame because there's some athleticism there, but not enough.
Yep. Ja, maybe the first time we saw you in here, J.A. or Ja. Thanks for hanging out, man. Hopefully we see you in here more.
We got another compliment like that. I wanted to shout out the guy. It was very nice. Let me find the actual.
Cliff wants you to quiz him. We'll get you back on, Cliff.
I think that was for you. It's this guy. Oh, here we go. Here was his nice comment.
So this is from Bigga. 5406. First time seeing you in here also, I think.
Yes.
Ton of Eagles podcaster who do it in depth on the Birds, but I follow a few Flyers fans and it's nowhere near. Keep it up. Hey, I think that's a compliment. Appreciate that.
Yes, because this was the original comment.
Oh, okay.
So for that, I will answer this question for him real quick and be like, Porter Martone. Look out for Porter Martone. Will definitely be here next year. Could have been here this year. They felt the year in college made sense, but Porter Martone will be a Flyer going to next year to answer that question for sure.
Dude, he's going to be a menace. Like we've wanted a Brady Tkachuk. That's going to be. I don't know if Martone will drop the gloves like Brady Tkachuk or whatever, but he's going to be our Brady Tkachuk. He's going to be Porter Martone. Dude, I'm excited for that.
I think he will. I'm not saying he's going to do it all the time. I don't know how you can have leadership qualities, like not just qualities. Like he's going to be a leader. He's been captain of other teams and not drop the gloves.
He's going to be fun, man.
You're going to have to.
Yeah, he's going to be fun. All right, let's get to the standings before we wrap it up here. So as of, I don't know if any of these games are going on now. I didn't think there was too many games on tonight. I don't have the schedule. But as of now, Flyers currently sit third in the Metropolitan with 51 points with two games in hand on the Carolina Hurricanes and the New York Islanders, who sit just 1 point ahead. Look, if the Hurricanes are idle for 2 games and the Flyers win the next 2, they're tied for first place, which is insane. So a lot of good stuff to talk about. Flyers are 6-3-1 in their last 10. They have one of the best home records in the league, only losing 5 games in regulation through, how many games is that? 21. Pretty good. Through halfway through the season, Jack. Flyers have 51 points. They're on pace for 102 points, which I don't think they've hit 100 points in over a decade. Yeah, they were on their way during the COVID season.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Like, let's
2018 is my guess.
I mean, like, what can we expect? What do you want to see happen through the last few months of the season here, man? Like, they're 4 points out of first in the entire Eastern Conference, and they played Tampa Bay twice in the next 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, they're right there with it. I still think they're obviously a tier or 2 down from those top tier teams, but they have turned a corner. A lot of that is Zegras and Vladar, but they're ours for going forward. So, like, I'm all for it. Like, I hope Mishkov comes out of his shell a little bit, starts playing a lot better. He was, as Travis just checked in with us here at Bellinghoff. I put on social media. Mishkov and Barkey were practicing the Michigan, which was cool to see at practice there. And it was good to see that the main reason was Mishkov was out there practicing. I'm assuming he's going to play tomorrow, which is good because he had just missed a game.
Yeah. All right. So currently, I mean, if we're just going by points here, the Flyers are 6th in the Eastern Conference, which, I was mentioned already, only 4 points out of first. And, counter to that is if they go on 2-3 game losing streak, they could easily slide down here. So look, to me, it's win-win. They finish near the top or they get their ass whooped in the last month of the season. They slide all the way down to the bottom. I'm good with either one. Let's take a look at the schedule here for the rest of the week. As mentioned, Flyers have a big game against Toronto Thursday night. Are you a little worried that this could be sort of a letdown game after the high emotional game against Anaheim on Tuesday? If I remember correctly, and I can go back and look while you give your answer, I think they got beat up the game after they played Anaheim last year. But are you worried that this could be one of those games this year?
Yeah, I feel like I always am. I feel like the Flyers are prone to this kind of stuff. They're a younger team for the most part, and that can happen. However, Toronto's going through it right now. You know what's going up on there in Toronto right now? I mean, they are talking about firing the head coach, Berube. They are talking about the I know it's not going to happen anytime soon, but the little murmurs of trading Matthews are starting. He has not looked the same since Marner left, and it has been a shit show up there. So we'll see.
I also want to say that I was completely wrong, by the way. 6-0 drubbing against the Ducks last year. And then they come around 2 days later and they beat the defending champs, back-to-back champs, Florida Panthers, 4-3 in the next game. So maybe it won't happen this year. And it'd be a massive game. Give themselves a little cushion heading into a 2-game series, back-to-back series with Tampa Bay. Let me make sure we're in the right January here. Dude, those Tampa Bay games could be measuring sticks, like legitimate measuring sticks. Like ones that I know, like the Colorado game could have been a measuring stick because they're obviously the best team in the league. Flyers hung around, but failed to get 2 points. These two Tampa Bay's won 8 in a row. These 2 games, in my opinion, even if they split, I would love to see them get at least 3 out of 4 points against Tampa Bay. And if that happens, if I'm Danny Briere, I'm picking up the phone right away. We got to get this. We got to get a guy for this team because they're serious.
Uh-oh.
Right or no?
Absolutely. And I would love this. If them beating Tampa at all, because I think the last time we played Tampa, it wasn't even close. And now it looks like Toronto's turning things around. So great.
Yeah, Toronto's turning around a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll see. Look, you just got to come out. If they can still get their loser points, I hate to say that because it's like it's a little bit of a loser mentality. I just think these teams are better than us. If they can just play these teams well, and if they don't win them, get a loser point, it'll go a long way, especially with how tight these standings are. So let me pull up the schedule real quick. So the rest of the week, they have Toronto.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was sharing it already.
There you go. Thank you. So where are we at? That's Tampa's schedule.
Yeah, this is Tampa.
Okay, so we didn't beat Avalanche. I was at that game. So can you pull up the Flyers real quick?
Yeah, let me go back.
Because I know they play. It's Toronto tomorrow.
Yeah, Toronto's tomorrow night. Yep.
All right. So I'm still going to mark them down for a win there. It won't be easy, but I'm still not sold there. But Tampa's good. Tampa's tough. I just hope they play. I hope they get a loser point there. Honestly, I'm hoping for a loser point. And then who else they got?
Tampa and Tampa.
Tampa. Jeez. So
that's what I'm saying. Dude, I want to see 3 out of 4 from Tampa and Tampa. I want 2 points tomorrow night, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like if they don't get 2 tomorrow night, I don't care what the Maple Leafs are doing. I'll be disappointed because I'm not expecting them to get 4 points from the Lightning, right? So I'm thinking we need 2 points tomorrow night because the Lightning are coming in like a friggin' freight train, coming in on 3-4 days rest for the first game on Saturday. We need 2 points against the Leafs so that if we do drop 2 points against Tampa, the Toronto game sort of evens that out a little bit.
So who's starting tomorrow, Jim?
Tomorrow I'm going to go Vladar. You need to get the win tomorrow night.
There you go. And then what? Urson gets one of the Tampa games? Or do you see Vladar, you save until Urson gets either Buffalo or Pitt?
It's tough, right? Because Vladar played against Anaheim.
I think honestly, what I would do, I would play Vladar and give him off Buffalo and play him against Pitt.
So you'd go 4 straight for Danny Boy, Danny V.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to play him. I don't play Urson against a good team. Like Urson's great against Chicago, Vancouver, but like Tampa, Jesus, like a game that could be close will like turn into a disaster. He still consistently gives up 3, 4, 5 goals a game.
Did he play against Edmonton on Saturday? Do you remember? I feel like he may have.
Remember. I do not remember that.
Yeah, it's tough. Urson's going to have to get in.
I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him. You got a back-to-back. Let him play. Let him play against Buffalo or Pitt. Your pick.
Well, yeah, he's. I mean, definitely going to have to get in one of them. But I just wonder if he's going to get in one of these.
Oh no, that's it.
Toronto versus
back-to-back is in sight. Just save him for that. Yeah, and it's like especially if you need points here. So I agree with you, Vladar against Toronto, because there's just too many guys that can just score from anywhere and out of nowhere. And if it's Urson, you could be down 3-0 before you know it.
Yeah.
Tampa, if you want to give them one of them, I could live with it because I'm like, you're probably not going to win this game anyway. Tell you what, if they win the first game against Tampa, I'll consider Urson for the second.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of where my head was too. And then I'm like, well, can you wait on that? But yeah, if they go in Saturday night and beat Tampa, then maybe not so much concede the next game, but it's like pray.
This isn't crazy. This isn't crazy. Like 5 games for. I understand his high in a season was like 31 or 32 games. I watched Hacksaw start Brian Elliott for the entire month of December years ago. Like you can play a couple of games. It's fine. There's days off in between. It's fine. I'm not worried about that.
Do the Flyers need to go out and get a backup goalie?
No, I'd rather honestly see before they do that. Can we give Kolosov another look?
We could, but here, I don't want to keep taking from the Phantoms.
But you don't want to. What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do with Urson? Like, is he got to be a part of the deal?
I don't know, maybe.
Because you can't have 3 guys.
You might have to be, yeah.
I don't want to mess up what the Phantoms got going. Because both Kolosov and Bjarnason have looked good. Like, I don't want to mess that up. I don't want to throw another guy in there.
You know what? I mean, I guess if Kolosov absolutely forces the hand, and let me just, because he's been playing well. I think he was just named Player of the Week in the AHL, and that's sort of a rare thing for the Phantoms. It doesn't happen as often as you might think. All right, so let me look up Kolosov real quick here. For the year, he's got a .910 save percentage, which, isn't spectacular, but if we're comparing in the Sam Ersson, spectacular. 9-8-1 record for the season. I just don't know. Like, Bjarnason's playing well down there too, and you could always call up the guy from, his name's escaping me now. Yaniv Peretz, I believe is how you say it.
Good catch. I didn't even know who that is.
Yeah, that's you could always call him up.
The Royals?
Lehigh Valley, yeah. But I don't know. I would rather have the continuity down there. And a guy that kind of comes to mind for me, and we talked Buffalo already, is Devin Levi or even an Alex Lyon again.
Oh,
just
yeah.
I don't know what his contract is. Check that out real quick. But they have too many goalies up there.
Yeah.
And it's a guy the Flyers know. Shit, why does Alex Ovechkin come up when I put in Alex Lyon? All right, here we go. All right, so he's on a 2-year deal, so they're probably not going to trade for Alex Lyon. But Buffalo's a team that I would kind of, kick the tires on.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know how you make that work with your goalie rotation unless somebody was out long term, or Urson goes in the deal, and Urson can't go in the deal with Buffalo because then they have the same problem they had. They just have too many goalies. So it's
yeah.
I think if they really want that route and they're really truly worried about it, they'd at least explore their own goaltending depth first.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I mean, they have options, which I guess is a good thing. We're an hour and a half into this episode. Didn't see that happening. Chat's still going strong. So thank you guys. But yes, I think, we should probably start to look to wrap this one up soon. So a massive 3 games to round up this 4-game homestand. We'll touch on Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and the Rangers next week. But how do you see this week finishing out, Jack?
Ooh,
homestand, I should say.
Tell you what, I'll give you Toronto and both Tampa games. How's that? Homestand. Okay, cool. All right, we're gonna beat Toronto. We're gonna get 1 point from Tampa. So 4 out of 6 points, we're gonna get 3.
So 1-1-1.
I think so.
All right, I feel like that's realistic. I've been wrong on these, I think, all year. We should start keeping track.
At the same time, yeah, you're right. We should.
The way that I pick games, the Flyers would be on 120-point pace.
Well, I'm a little afraid to go back and check our preseason.
I think I saved them somewhere.
I did. I have them.
Did you?
Yeah, our preseason stuff. Oh God, it's gonna be bad. I think I'm wrong on literally everything. But
probably make 2 of us. I think I said Owen Tippett's going to score 40 goals this year.
I had Mishkov scoring 33. I think I had somebody being a goaltending being their biggest issue. It's not crazy at the time, but Tampa's too good right now. Did you say they won 9 in a row? They beat Colorado in regulation, which is like a rare thing now. They have a good team. We know that. I appreciate the games are at home, but I'm like, look, beat Toronto, get 2 points out of Tampa, even if they're 2 loser points. Just get 2 points out of those 2 games, and I'll be happy. That'd be even more than I gave them credit for.
Yeah,
I would take that. Or they could surprise us. We'll see. They could. They're a better team than we give them the credit for. The Flyers are. I don't know how they stack up against really good teams, so this will be a good test.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see what happens in these 3 games.
Because even Anaheim was on the second half of a back-to-back.
Yeah.
The
Flyers.
Let's be realistic here. Let's be realistic.
They owe the schedule makers a little bit of a high five there with that one.
Yeah.
And I put the Gauthier game the second night of a back-to-back in Philly. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And something I don't know if we're considering too, like if Brink and Drysdale miss some time.
That's true.
I know the Flyers are, they have some depth in the forwards and defensively. So maybe Grabenkin still gets in. And I don't know who the other forward would be, but I'm going to say a win tomorrow night also. It's a Grabenkin game, Scott Lawton homecoming game.
Oh, geez.
Let Scotty Lawton get the dub.
That's
so
right.
2 points tomorrow. And then, Saturday night at the Xfinity Mobile Arena, crowds rocking. I'm going to say 2 points, but like in a shootout probably, right?
All bad.
And then Monday, try to round out the homestand. I'm going to say they lose. So I'm going to go 2-1. But I really wanted to say like 5 points out of 6. I really wanted to go with that, but I'm going to go 2-1. And then they announced themselves, Jack.
I'd be happy with that.
Conference.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean,
you beat
come on,
2
Tampa.
juggernauts.
Oh man. Oh, it's gonna be tough. Fingers crossed, baby.
Great show on next Tuesday. I hope it's going to be a good one. And if we come in talking about a 1-3 homestand, that would kind of suck. And it's like, sell the team. Why'd you sign Dvorak?
They lose in regulation in Toronto. I'm like, this is going to be tough. Oh, God.
Yeah, they're going to want to win it for lots.
Please.
All right, ladies and gents, I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Looks like we have some people retiring already. We did go a half an hour over, so I don't blame you guys. You got to get to bed, you got to get dinner, whatever it is. Wife wants you to spend time with her. All good. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So if you enjoyed the episode, please, guys, consider subscribing. Help us on our quest for 3,000 YouTube subscribers and give us a like. As I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, our like goal was 100 likes for the episode, 100 total between if you're watching on phone or if you're watching on TV, computer, however you guys consume our content, 100 combined. So we'd really appreciate that, you guys. And if you're listening as a podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you consume podcasts. Make sure you set alerts so you're the first to know when we drop a new show. And for all of our latest updates and latest shows, you can find it all on our YouTube channel. So for Jack, I'm Jim. Don't forget to keep it high, keep it wide, and we'll see you next week, next Tuesday on HW Hockey. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching HW Hockey. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.